Welcome to the Tansson Talks show. I'm Brandon, the host of the show, and I always love doing this. Well, I'm excited to go ahead and kick off today's episode by welcoming my guest here today, Earl. Welcome to the show.
Hi everyone. Oh, Hi everyone. My name is Earl.
Welcome, Earl. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to speak with you today.
Me too. Thanks for inviting me to the show.
Yes, I'm so, let's say, excited to speak with you. And so, Earl, if you're able to go ahead and introduce yourself for the watching and listening audience here today.
Hi everyone. My name is Earl Lawrence Bumagat. I am 20 years old. I am a college junior at the University of Rochester, and I am originally from Los Angeles in California, which is like, whoa, why'd you move all the way to like the East Coast? But we can go about that later. And yeah, I just like to explore the world, explore my world, and like try to find out my passions, discover my passions, connect with lovely human beings, make connections, and just try to live by the motto, you only live once.
I love that. Like I said, I'm so excited, like I said, to have you on and get into this conversation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, and so first of all, how has everything been, for this recent fall semester of your studies?
Yeah, it's been like hard, but it gets like manageable. I always just had to remind myself, whenever I do like find myself struggling or have an obstacle in front of me, that I'm here for a reason. And to like not forget that reason. I'm also like supported by my friends and loved ones, and just to like remember that like within those obstacles, they're just there, they're temporary. But now we're here. It's literally the last day of the semester, or my last day because I leave to go back to LA tomorrow, and time just went really fast. That's another like lesson I learned or had to remind myself, like kind of cherish like memories with your friends, because I have like a lot of friends who are seniors and they're leaving like next semester, and like I think that's still so crazy to me. And I was just like hugging my friends today, saying like our goodbyes and stuff, and it just hit me like, wow, it's actually happening. But it's also so crazy because like literally yesterday I can just remember myself like starting my first day of like freshman year, and now we're here like midway junior year. But yeah, that's just college.
Well, nevertheless, I completely understand what you're saying, though. I know for me, I'm very much a sentimental person, and
Mhm.
I love being able to cherish that time that we have with others. So I know what you're saying in regards to you just having just a semester left with your senior friends, and I mean it's only a year and a
Mhm.
half before you're graduating yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of scary, but I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, and so going back a little bit, as you actually asked the question a little bit, yourself to the audience earlier. So since you mentioned that you are from Los Angeles, so what did bring you to Rochester, and had the University of Rochester always been your first choice?
Um, Not really. I didn't know about it actually until I was just applying to a lot of schools, especially like around the New York state area, because my dream is like to go to school slash to live in New York City, and I really want to go like out of state and kind of explore, adventure around, and kind of find like a place for myself. Because I know that I can always go back to LA and call it my home, and it is like I do love going back there and like having friends, memories, places to like just like keep me going or remind me that it is home. But originally, when I was applying, I wanted to go to New York, try to find like a way to like live there, because that's like the dream. And University of Rochester was of like the schools that gave me like a lot of aid, which made it like easier for me to like commit to University of Rochester. And personally, like I've never like visited the campus until it was like orientation week and welcome week. But like I'm really glad to like be here. I didn't expect it to like be this much fun. Um, there's a lot of snow, and I like the snow just because I'm from LA and I never see snow. But there are so many opportunities and things that I wouldn't expect that I got to go through and had the opportunity to attend or participate in. And I like to consider Rochester as like a hidden gem, or like it's very like you have to like find the yeah, actually yeah, I would consider it a hidden gem.
I love that, and I'm so glad that you were able to explore your hidden gem. Be a lot closer to New York City, your dream location, than you previously
Yeah.
were, and that's yeah, and that the university is able to provide not just a lot of aid for you, but also a lot of snow that you now get to
Yeah.
chance to experience.
Yeah, I really love like all the opportunities, the resources, but most of all like the people, because like they keep me going, and they're like the ones who remind me of like my passions and why I'm here.
I love that. And are you able to actually tell us a little bit about some of your passions and and what exactly was that you've been up to during your time in college?
Yeah, of course. A lot actually. Well, I'm like one of like those. I really like to be involved in my community. So like starting high school, like in high school, like I was like also pretty involved and like put myself out there. So I was part of like the class council slash class cabinet in high school, and in college, I was like really shocked because I didn't know that they had the same thing. So like I decided to run for it, like class council my freshman year, and I got vice president, and I've just like been in class council since now, and now I'm president, and it's really fun, exciting to like get to like know my classmates, plan events for them, and just like kind of grow with them. Also, like finding out like, well, I'm pretty sure everyone, like a lot of people experience this, but like imposter syndrome is definitely a big thing. Like sometimes I even go through it like right now. But like freshman year, it was like a big thing that everyone went through. Like I went to through, but like just finding that connection of like, and just finding that connection, but also realization that you're not alone. Like there's other people in the same boat with you. That was like really reassuring, and I got to like experience that with like a lot of my friends, and like a lot of my peers. Other than that, I'm also involved in like my um, Filipino American Students Association to like just kind of like find like cultural or find and learn more about like my cultural heritage. Wait, in high school, it was like where there were there was like one white person and the rest were like POC and like um Filipinos. And so I think that was like definitely a big culture shock going into a predominantly white institution such as the University of Rochester. But thankfully there was like the Filipino American Students Association, which is like the Filipino club, and I got to join, and I really got to find community there, and find like people that like I could relate to, talk about like our favorite like home cooked meals from our parents. And it's really exciting, and yeah, I think like they really like helped impact my life here. Um, Additionally, I also part of like the student government in on campus. Right now, I'm like the secretary of public relations, so I can do like communications. But I've also had previous roles like being or like working slash advising with like the student body president and vice president, and also being a senator and just finding out like how like school politics works. Um, it's kind of a lot and complicated, but I think it's like really good experience and like good things to know, especially like in terms of like how to communicate with admin, um, how does information get like streamlined from the student from like admin to like student body, like how are like all these like problems within school and off like outside school like happening in the world, how they relate to us the students. um there's just so many things to learn about, but I really liked that part of like being involved, also because I do live with like the YOLO mentality. So it's like I'm already here, so why not do everything I can while I'm already here? Um, and also, it's like just really nice getting to like dip my feet into like different things, find my passions through there, and like kind of like have that kind of sense of belonging within other people, within this place, and um, kind of find that sense of community. And I think that's really great, or like that's one of like the things that I long for when navigating a new space, which is like finding your people. And yeah, those are a few things that I'm involved in on campus. But I also have like things that I did. I don't want to talk about, all about myself, but like I think there were like a really like nice opportunities that University of Rochester provided. For example, as I mentioned, I really wanted to like go live and like know what it's like to like study in New York City. And then when I got here, I found out I found out that like University of Rochester actually had an opportunity called Art New York, and it's basically where students or like a select cohort. In my case, it was like 12 students, but we got to spend our spring semester in New York City, and then do an internship throughout the semester, and then also have like class like once a week. It was like really nice and definitely my best semester because of the people, but also because of New York City, and I got to like live like a glimpse of the dream that I've always had since like I was little. And then I was also able to study abroad this past summer. Uh, I went to Korea, and I've always wanted to study abroad, um, but I didn't know like if I could do it. But thankfully, I was able to, and I met incredible people. Even though I didn't know Korean, like it was really um, manageable to navigate, uh, especially with like friends. Or actually, I came into the program alone from my school, so I didn't know anyone. But I made like many friends throughout my time there, and a few of them spoke Korean. And whenever we hung out, like they just be like the translator of the group, and it was really fun, and I missed them. But I had like really great memories like throughout my time here, and now I know why like college, why people say like college is like the best time of your life, because I think right now like it's certainly definitely provided me a lot of core memories.
I love that, and I mean, there's definitely so much to like I said, to tackle there. And
Yeah,
first of all, I like how you said that you were just involved in just a few things.
just a few. Yeah, but I think like okay, yeah, I think like it's kind of like the curse of like the pros and cons of like my you only live once mentality, because I do want to like try to do everything I can, but like sometimes I get like overcommitted to stuff, and I just get too involved, or like I find a new thing and I get involved with that too. So it's also like a matter of like finding like the in between, and like prioritizing like your work, which I've definitely like practiced and learned this year. Um, Finding out what to prioritize first, communicating with literally every single person on your team, and also like prioritizing yourself and your mental health. So I think like with this kind of mentality, I know there's like other people like me. I have a lot of friends who are also like me, and I definitely like know like that there is a struggle to like um, kind of have like or struggle to not people please slash say no, or just like be afraid to like disappoint others if you like you can't over, or if you can't like do something, or if like you can't prioritize your mental health first. But I think like definitely through all of these experiences, um that's my number one advice, or yeah, I think it is my number one advice, to really just like know when you can handle or not handle something, and if it's like bettering you, or if it's kind of doing the opposite. So just making sure to like know when your social battery, your mental health battery, um, when they're like at 0%, and then trying to find that space for yourself, take a pause, and then tackle on your issues after.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is just such great advice. And yeah, for myself, when I was in college, I was also a person uh, that got involved in literally everything. And even though I was an online student for all 4 years, both
Hmm.
programs, yeah, combined, I nevertheless was probably more involved than like the average in person, student. Just because, I mean, from student government to our
Hmm.
PRSSA to everything in between, I got involved with it all. And so yeah, I 100% know what you're saying, especially in regards to saying no to opportunities. And it's not always so
Hmm.
much I mean, people pleasing is definitely a part of that, but sometimes it's not even so much that, but also the like, wow, this is a great once in a lifetime opportunity, I just got to take it, right? And then there's
Hmm.
another and another and another, and the list keeps
Yeah.
piling on.
Yeah. I think like in those cases, like I've definitely thought like that, like like in college, because obviously there are like a lot of like things that like will opportunity scholarships, programs that will help you like thrive and succeed in college. And I always like tell myself Don't say no. Like apply for it. You never know what will happen. And in most cases, it does work. It's just a matter of like finding like or setting your boundaries and like seeing like, um, do I have time for this? Do I have not have time for this? Because there are some opportunities where it's like short term. So like it'll either be for like a week or a day, professional learning, conferences, etc. It's just a matter of like, one, do I have time for this? Two, will I enjoy this? Three, why not? Like, I'll just apply and like see what happens. Which I like, which also goes with like my yellow mentality, because like I feel like even though I'm like this involved, and like have done a lot of experiences, experiencing life and everything, I still like kind of doubt myself at times and try to like tell myself, or like, or a voice comes to my head like, you're not worthy enough for this opportunity, or should you even bother applying? Like there'll be better applicants than you, or more better and more competitive applicants than you. But I think like that's when my like YOLO mentality like strikes in, and just like apply for it, because either way like you won't like live without that regret. So I try to like apply it to like not only like school and scholarships, but like also like to like everyday life.
Yeah, I mean that definitely I think is yeah sort of the best way to go in that regard of that. Yeah, not only being able to take advantage of opportunities, but also
Hmm.
prioritizing yourself. Because I mean, if you're not physically able to handle it, then you're not going to be able to give your best anyway.
Exactly, exactly. And that's exactly like one of like the lessons I had to like keep reminding myself, because like as I would, because I find that I would like do well like even with all these like extracurriculars, but then like I would like want to like do more, and then I find myself kind of like being disappointed or underwhelmed by or disappointed by like my work that I've like put in. So it's always like a reminder to yourself like, try like to, yes, to find that in between, but like also um keep striving for what you came there for, whether it be like for that job, or whether it be for like that to build up your portfolio, or like to make those graphics. Like do your best in them, um, because that's what you signed up for, and like kind of don't forget that passion and like that reason of why you signed up for it.
100%. I mean, I think that is so true, and even like for entering college, for instance, that for the most part we go there to get the degree to study
Hmm.
the reason of college. But I feel like there's so many amazing opportunities, of course,
Hmm.
in college that it's very easy to lose sight of the whole picture sometimes. But in the
Hmm.
same regard, it's important to yeah that doesn't mean that okay, just because I'm prioritizing my academics, that doesn't mean that I can't get involved in things. But it's also like you
Hmm.
were saying before, knowing those limits, knowing the boundaries, but also in some cases having fun with it. I mean, if
Yeah.
like you're saying, if you're only going to have this time once, you might as well enjoy it, right? Within limits, of course.
Exactly, exactly. That's also why like I don't just join like every single thing. I always like try to like gauge like, oh, I'm really interested in that, and like I can see myself having fun in that. So it's also like more about like, I love what I'm doing there. I want to get more involved and like um kind of exert that passion and like show that love. Um but I also think like, just as I was saying, like find your passions, go with that passion. Don't just join something for the resume, because if you find out what you like doing and you're passionate about it, then that'll be enough. And like the work that you'll, the passion that you'll show and exert, the work that comes from those will show like the impact and love you have for it. Um, and so I think that's why like, yes, I'm in a lot of stuff, but like I also like admire like everyone who's like found like their specific niche, um and go on with that. It's not because like I feel like it's such a misconception like leadership roles means you have like more leadership, or like you're more qualified for like more things than other people, and it's definitely not that. It's mainly just like you have these leadership qualities and traits that make you a leader. So it's up to you to like where you want to like put those efforts in. Because I know like a lot of like talented students and my peers definitely exemplified like those leadership traits, but like don't necessarily like put into like, oh, I want to be in this e-board or I want to be in this leadership position. Instead, they just like show it through their everyday life, which is like a okay, and like that's like kind of like good actually to like just live through it instead of like live through those titles. Um, that like I don't know where I'm getting with this, but like bottom line of that story is just to like do things that you love, do things that you're passionate about, and don't do it for others. Unless, like, of course, your passion is for like other people and like helping other people in the community. Um, well, that's like it in that case.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, listen, know what you're saying, and
Mhm.
it's definitely, so true. And I like that you're able, like I said, to take that mentality of, you only live once and apply it to, to your academics, to your overall college experience. You've been able to study in your, dream location and study abroad. I mean, there's so much that you've done, and not only have you done it, but you've been documenting this whole process.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've tried to. So I feel like I'm like a very like open book on social media. And like I love like to like post like everything, like especially whether it be like on my Instagram stories or like reels and or posts. There'll like not be a day where you don't see me post anything at all. Um, and it's just because of like that kind of process of like I want everyone to like be part of my journey, like to like know like how I'm doing, what I'm doing, um, and like also like be excited about like oh he's doing that, that's so cool. Um, so like kind of like find like I want others to like also find a value in living life, romanticizing life. But I also find it as a way to like connect with other people, um, especially like my friends who like I don't really see like from time to time or like I haven't talked to in a couple of months. I feel like just by like posting and like sharing my story, sharing on my story or like sharing on my Instagram, um, what I'm up to, it's like a way for them to like keep updated with my life, and like to not lose that connection because sometimes like when you have someone that like you don't see or you don't frequently talk to and you don't see them online at all either, you're gonna like kind of like forget about them, which I kind of don't want that to happen. um and this is all about like establishing like that like even if it's like faint and like you don't talk from time to time, like there's still a connection there, and just like acknowledging that like yes we're still friends, we still have that bond and relationship, and it's especially like why I love like um, going back home because I'm always reminded of that bond with my friends who I don't see often in the year, but like I could always have the same relationship with them going back um, when I'm back home. And so I mentioned like friends, connections, but it's also like a reason for me to like romanticize my life, and kind of like look back, kind of have something to look back to, especially like when I'm like feeling down, I could always like look back at my stories, be like, I did this, I accomplished this year, and I kind of like just treat it as like my personal digital like scrapbook, just like as I treat LinkedIn as like my professional like personal journal kind of, but it's all about like expressing myself in a way that I want to express myself, and like keeping others connected while I do that and like try to live life.
Okay, I love that, and as a fun, like, I mean, I honestly really do. I mean, from romanticizing your life to wanting it to be a way for you and your friends to stay in touch and for something for you to look back at. I mean, every piece of that I absolutely love, uh, and to tell you a little bit about me, in case you
Hmm.
don't know, is that since January 2020, I have actually I haven't done much with it, but I've actually recorded my whole life from January 2020 to present, for just a personal collection, and I have
Hmm.
SD cards full of just footage. And so I'd actually been spending this month as a time of taping, actually just going through it, and I had planned to, like I said, to hopefully upload it for the exact reasons that you were
Hmm.
saying.
No, I love that. Yeah, that's like something like I want to go into. Um, my friends always tell me to like, Earl, start a YouTube channel, or like Earl, please like start documenting more of your life. You want to see more vlogs, and I'm always like, yes, I really want to, but it's always like that stage of like, oh. um I have no time, I'm always busy. And like sometimes I am, but I think it's just like making um smaller goals that you can reach within like the within like the boundaries that you already are in. So like whether that be like time constraints or like mental health issues or like you just don't want to like do it at that moment. Um Making sure to like minimize that goal where it's like, oh, I want to post every day, or like to like, okay, I want to post one YouTube video by the end of this year instead of like saying I'll post one every week. So it's always like just the start. I still have to do that. So like hopefully we get one in by the end of the year. But um, if not, knock on wood, then like I'll just like find a way to like make a new goal within the things that I have like within my control and limit.
Well, that's definitely, let's say, exciting. And let's say, if you are able to do that, and since you said by the end of the year, would that be end of the year 2024 or 2025?
2024, because I've always been saying it like this whole past year, saying like, okay, I'll actually start, because my friends like, oh, like keep pressuring me. But I think uh I'll try to get one by the end of the year. I feel like it's always just like once you do it and actually start, then it gets easier, um which makes sense and is like always true. Um, so I'll try. I do like also document like a lot of things. So like I have like a lot of like videos and pictures that like I had the intention of like editing and like putting it out there, but just never did. So hopefully we'll see it soon.
Well, hopefully we will, and maybe we should make this as a as a challenge too. If maybe if you can upload a video before 2024, and I will upload a video before
Mhm.
2024, we shall do this together.
Okay, okay. And then by the time this podcast comes out, like we can say find a link in our YouTube channel.
Yes, yes, yes. We should definitely, yeah, make that happen. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that would probably be. I don't know. I mean, something I've always loved about doing this podcast is being able to speak with others. But it's so fun what you get to learn about, yeah, others, especially those who have similar goals to yourself. And so,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think it would be so fun, like if we truly actually do make this into a, yeah, a challenge. Maybe like check in before this releases.
No, I agree. I agree. And then by the time like we'll have the links up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be so cool. And I know right now, you're mentioning it in passing a little bit earlier. Yeah, where can you find like your current stuff that you've been putting out, like your Instagram reels, and I think you have a TikTok too.
Yeah, I was like pretty active on like TikTok um like a while ago, but I haven't like posted anything since just because of like burnout, but creative burnout as well too. Um but I that's one of my goals for like 2025, like just look at it and like conceptualize ideas, like post, cuz well, if TikTok will still be there. But that's one of my goals. And then right now, I'm pretty active on Instagram. So like for like my followers, like my friends, like you'll probably see me like me post like every single day. And I'll also post on my feed. But I also have like a food page called Earl Eats. Um, and I have like a lot of backlog content, especially like from my food series or like food travels in New York City to Korea. There are definitely like a lot of things like I still need to like post. But I hope that like the buffer time with winter break gives me enough time to like kind of unwind and like kind of organize everything. Like, okay, here's like all the videos from this week, um, and how can I put it out there? So I think that'll be my goal for like 2025 or within this winter break.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Also, because like I always tell my like when I take or like capture the moment, I always say like I'll post it later, but then later never comes. So it's just like always in my camera roll, and then like new content comes in, and like that also like just keeps piling up and up. So I think like sometimes I do get like pretty overwhelmed. Like it's like that's like one of the reasons why like I will not edit it. But I think like if I really like prioritize like and organize like um the videos and pictures from like week to week, like put them in folders, hopefully we can get something out.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I mean, and here's the thing about that. I mean, in terms of posting it later, is that in present day, it's still later.
Yeah, it's still later, but at the same time, it's like I'm doing it for myself and like I'm keeping track and posting it for myself and to look back to. Sometimes I do get like that worry of like, oh, people won't care because like it already happened. Um, but I think like as long as like you're transparent, like, hey, this is a bit late, but here it is. Instead of like, hey guys, I'm in Korea right now when I'm in LA. I think like that like will not build trust, but it's also like just getting content out there, um, which I do like to have for myself.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying, and yeah, and it's all a part of being, as I said, being transparent. And one of the goals I had, even going into making this current version of my podcast, Tansson Talks, is that I wanted to make sure to not just put out, content, these interviews, but I wanted to make sure to be consistent with it and be, open and transparent. And in the class that I've, had taught in fall
Hmm.
2024, I mean, I told everyone from the very beginning, on class number 2, I said, the goal I'm setting out for this class is that by the end of this semester, we're going to all learn, not just them, but me too. We're going to all learn to become more honest and effective communicators.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really good approach, and something to like live by in like how we communicate because words are strong and like the way we communicate is strong and the way we miscommunicate or don't communicate is also strong. So I think like especially like nowadays, with like current politics and like the current like issues and events of the world, I think like words do matter, how you phrase things do matter, um, and it also like impacts how like you foster relationships that you have with others.
Oh, 100%. And yes, especially, in the present day where, where words aren't just said from one person to another, that they also live forever. And so it's
Yeah,
important
exactly,
that, that what you're saying it with intention and with meaning, and that you actually do
mhm,
believe what you're saying, that you're just not randomly saying things.
exactly.
And yeah, and I did want to circle back too. So, of course, I know that, like I said, you're studying digital media, and so how has that been? And have you always been interested in that space?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, like I've been really like passionate about like social media, like my own social media, but like also like others, or like social media like alone by itself in that space. And also like with digital media, it's like a bunch of like news media, social media, like how can everything like be misinforming or how can like something like tell like the communication like efficiently of what you're learning about or like what you're looking at. Um, Additionally, like I also like graphic design, so like I'm like Canva's like number one um user or like fan, Canva's number one fan. And for those who don't know what Canva is, it's a another design platform that's like more accessible to learners and like people who don't really like have background in Adobe. Um, and there's also like a free version and a pro version. And I really love like how user friendly Canva is. And so I've used it since high school, and I feel like even now, like or from that period until now, like I've just seen like a lot of growth within um, my graphic design skills, but also like with like how I can incorporate it and use it to like not only like social media, but like for my clubs, for my projects, and so many more things. And going into college, I was like pretty undecided. When I filled out my college applications, I was like, I don't know what to apply for. Um, I don't know what I should major in. So a lot of it was in between like marketing because I was interesting and sort of interested like in that kind of like field. Um, but then for the rest of my applications, it was undecided. So I came to Rochester undecided or exploratory, as they would say. And so the first four classes I took, which was like a mix of like linguistics, brain cognitive science, econ, and art history. Like it was like a bunch of like combinations of like me just exploring, like seeing like what I like. But then and I still wasn't like really sure after the classes were over, but I took a digital media course, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, maybe I should major in this. So like I just decided to like keep taking more classes for it, and then kind of learn like the fundamentals of like digital media like in the humanities space, but also like applied within like different like types of fields. And it's like a really broad major, but it's also like very versatile because it's up to like what you want to like take classes in, what you're interested in. So I really enjoyed that. So I've been mixing my passions and projects with like my digital media studies major, and then I decided to minor in studio arts and business. Um, and I'm also taking a certificate in communication learning.
Well, so certainly just a small course load.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely like some of the classes were definitely a struggle, like finding like, okay, do I really enjoy this? Do I like this? Um, Especially like the business side, because I really only like business marketing, like that side of it, and like social media, like advertising. So like when it comes to like stats or like like financial accounting and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, this is not what I want to do. But I think like they're good fundamentals um to know about, but we'll take those next semester. So we'll see.
Well, I guess you shall, like I said, see indeed. And so since you mentioned that you like, let's say, incorporating some of your personal projects and adventures into, let's say, your studies, I know since you
Mhm.
mentioned that you, let's say, enjoy human connection, have you been
Yeah,
able to incorporate any of that into your digital media studies?
into my digital media studies. Hmm, not really. Well, because like a lot of my classrooms, like or a lot of my class spaces where like our projects are, it's mainly been like related to like class projects and like um concepts of like solving a problem. And for my previous or for a class like I'm just finishing or like wrapping up, um we like our whole class project for my group was to find a way to like make travelers feel more safe and like feel more in control of like their luggages with like a luggage lock. So like during the whole semester we like did research and like did presentations and surveyed around like different ways to make that luggage lock like effective, um and like kind of market it out. So that's one of the classes I did. And like I feel like my pseudo arts minor or like some classes I took there were the ones where like I really got to like show like that human connection, and the community aspect especially. Um, so I remember like last last fall I took a class called performance art, um, and community engagement. So for my final project, I actually like with the help of like my classmates and my TA, we helped install like an exhibition like within like one of our library spaces, and it's basically like a venting space. So like there were post-its and like there were prompts around the wall, and like students like whenever they just pass by, they could just write something in like the post-it notes, um, and or just like even read like things that are on the wall. And then I was like pretty worried. I was like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna respond to this or like no one's gonna participate. But then like a few days after, like there were like a bunch of like post-its in the walls, which I was like really appreciative about because again, it showed that connection piece of like the human connection piece, and it also showed like I can just vent and share my feelings without having to be judged by anyone because like of course it's anonymous, but it's also like knowing that like you're not alone and like you're in a similar boat with other people, especially when reading other people's responses. Um, Especially it was because it was during finals period and like the end of the semester. So like there were a lot of like people like in similar boats. And I was got to like kind of see that comparison or and that kind of that realization. And I was just pretty happy with the outcome. And like I was pretty happy that people took a time out of their day to connect with other people.
That's so exciting, and I'm so glad that was it had engagement that you were looking for, and that it worked out. And given that it was finals period, I'm very curious, mentally as to the contents of some of these notes. I'm sure you were probably
Yeah.
very intrigued going through them.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the projects I carried out throughout my art New York semester because one of the projects I did in when I was in New York was sorry, one of the projects I did was kind of take like some post-it notes that people wrote and like kind of like stick that around like places in New York City. And so like it kind of gave that reminder of like, hey, you're not alone, which was like the whole purpose and title of the project, which is like you're not alone. Um, and then I kind of like brought it out to different places, like their quotes, and it was really nice. Just like that continuation of projects. I told myself like I keep doing it, but that's just like in the backlogs. So we'll see.
Well, I'm so glad, Wes, that you're able to incorporate. I mean, even stuff that you had learned during your spring in New York City. I mean, and incorporate that into the project. And I did want to ask too. So, because you have done two different experiences, I mean, a semester in New York City and a summer study abroad in Korea. I mean, how is that overall for? I mean, for you having experienced that. I mean, living out your dream of both New
Mhm.
York City and study abroad. I mean, that sounds so amazing. I am so excited to hear about that.
Yeah. So it's definitely like the opportunity is there. And like I just it was just whether or not like I was like should I apply for it or will even happen. And so I really enjoyed like that it did happen. And I got accepted to the programs. Uh and wow. Wow, it's a lot. For Art New York, like I was looking at it when I was in my freshman fall, I was like, this is such a fun opportunity. I really enjoyed it, or really enjoyed learning about it. So I like, went to info sessions. I filled out the application at the end of my freshman spring, and then I got a decision back like freshman summer coming into sophomore fall. And so I was really excited, like just that whole year already, um, of like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to like study or well study in New York City, and kind of like live that part of like dream. And then fall semester, it was just like us like making sure like secure our internship that we'll do during that semester. Um, and like at first I was like, oh, like there's so much happening, there's so much going on. Like I was like pretty overstimulated, but like thankfully with the school's like programs and partners, like I got connected with nonprofit organization where I also like kind of express my passions in like social media and communications, but also like learn more about the community. So it's I got part or I got internship with this nonprofit called City Lore in New York City. It's located like in the Lower East Side, kind of like East Village area, and or is it West Village? I kind of forgot. But it was really exciting because their whole program and mission was just to like have teachers from or like dancers from like different cultures, dancers, teachers, and like people who like do the humanities, and kind of represent like different cultures. They build a curriculum for students in like the local like elementary schools and high schools. So it was really fun, like kind of becoming a part of that mission and supporting that mission. So a lot of things that I did was like social media for them, um, and like promoting them and like their programs and spotlighting like the different community partners that we have. So that was really fun and enjoying. So like I got to like take the train to from like my kind of dorm style like apartment like that the school kind of offered. Um, it was just really nice like waking up, taking the train and downstairs, um, walking to the subway and then walk like getting off the stop, going into internship, and like I loved every single moment of it. Um, and so like I also made like a bucket list for my travel or my time in New York City. So like that was really enjoyable. And then when we did meet like as a class in a cohort, we had like uh it mainly consists of like site visits. So like we visited a lot of museums and like a lot of like galleries and exhibitions, and that was also really fun. I also really like learn more about like art and like local community members who are involved in the art, but also like go to like these big museums such as like MoMA and like DHLC and like all those things. And it was like really nice immersing myself in like New York City culture, um, both in like the arts, the food, the lifestyle, and I really enjoyed every part of it. One of my projects actually was well, one of the things on my bucket list, which I incorporated to my project, was walking all of Manhattan in New York City. So I made sure to like do that like the second or third week of that I was there, and I incorporated to my project. And then I did it another time, but like from the top to bottom and then bottom to the top. And it was like really nice. I did it by myself and like just into music. And then at times I would like take my headphones off, walk a bit, and just listen to like the surrounding sounds of like um New York City and the people and like the cars honking. It was like I felt like I was living like a glimpse of his dream, as I said, and like had that like main character moment. And I also like documented it like as part of my project and like on my Instagram. So that was really nice. Um, and I also like wanted to like really study abroad, and so like I applied for study abroad while I was in New York City. So I wasn't really sure like how that process was. So I attended like an info session with my school's like study abroad office, and we kind of like I it was like a back and forth thing because I was choosing between like whether to study abroad in Singapore or Korea. Ultimately, I ended up with Korea, and I was really like really happy for that choice because I really love the culture, the food, meeting other people, and like little me was like I've seen things in filmed in Korea, and I've always wanted to go, and I was actually had like the chance to while I was abroad, um, to kind of go on those adventures alone but also like with other friends. So it was really nice. I even took like the train to Busan, which is like really exciting because it was like my first time in a bullet train, and like it only took 2 hours to go from like the top to the bottom of Korea, and I enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but like let me know if I didn't.
You're all good. Like I said, I mean, it was so exciting. Like I said, hearing about your New York adventures, being able to enjoy it, document, go all across and explore. And I like that you took a moment to not just do it with your with your music, but then also do it with just observing the surrounding sounds. And so that's just, like I said, great. And I'm so glad that you had a chance to do your study abroad, and yeah, especially with the the 2 hour bullet train. And how did that feel overall, the bullet train experience?
Okay, it was really crazy because I booked my trip. It was my last weekend in Korea. And I've always wanted to go to like Busan, which is like on the other side of South Korea. Um, and so I booked my trip like literally the day before. Um, and then my friends went out. Like we went out and like spent the whole day together. Then we spent the whole night together, and we were like singing karaoke. And then I was like, guys, my train leaves in like an hour. And then so we like it was really like funny because like it was so spontaneous. But like honestly like spontaneous being spontaneous is like what you have to like live by or like do when you like you're abroad or like at like a place for like a short time. Um but it was like just really nice like how like my friends helped me like get a taxi to like our dorm, get my backpack, and then get a taxi to like the train station, and just like seeing them like care and like be happy that I'm like doing that trip. Um, it was like really heartwarming, and like even though we didn't know each other for like a whole while, like it was so like sincere and like genuine. Um, so I'm really grateful for like my friends that I met there, and like those experiences that I've like um decided to like kind of embark on and by myself, but also like with other people.
That's great, and yeah, and I'm so glad that you were able to embrace that spontaneity, yeah, there, and yeah, I mean, and be able to, yeah, I mean, to meet new friends and have those experiences that you will always remember, and you know, and I did want to ask too, how was it for you during those final few days before heading back? You know, realizing that it's like I'm almost about to, yeah, head back home, knowing that this is sort of the end of that chapter of your
Hmm.
adventure.
Yeah, yeah. So it was definitely like really sad, and like nostalgic and like reminiscent for like the last 3 days, like leading up to like my last day. Um, but I also told myself like I'm so grateful and happy like for the memories and for the people that I met. Um, when studying abroad, like it's like kind of like hard, especially in that program because like I didn't like just meet like my friends from like that I met. I've also met like classmates who like I had like one of like my best classes with like the with like such a nice and sweet professor who like helped like really make the class chemistry like so strong. So like it's also like because like everyone's basically an international student, like everyone's from everywhere. Like you're not really sure like when you'll see each other again. So it's like just coming with like that intention of like showing like how genuine you thought that experience was, how genuine you thought that memory and friendship was with like your friends or your peers. And then just like making sure to like say like those last goodbyes and like share those memories together um, is definitely a big part of it. And I would say like to not like it'll be sad. Like I was sad for like a whole week after. Um, but then like right after, like I just like kept looking back at like the videos I took, the content that I made while I was there, and which is like one of the like again like one of the biggest reasons where like I um like like to document and like show it out there. Um, and so I got to like reminisce through those memories, um, and like also share it with like my friends who helped make those memories. So like it was just like a see you later kind of thing. Later, we don't know when, but we do know that it'll be there. So it's really nice that like I have like somewhere or someone to like look forward to um when I'm somewhere or like hopefully when I'm near them.
I love that, and I know you're going to make it happen.
Yes, hopefully. But we
Yeah.
do also like try to keep in touch within the digital world.
Well, that's great though, and I mean, I think that's one of the great benefits of us living in this interconnected world is that you're able to speak from people from all over the globe, and I mean, even for both of us, I mean, I'm in Virginia right now. You're in yeah, New York, about to head back to
Mhm.
LA in I believe just a few
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, exactly. I still haven't been packed yet because like I was like I didn't even realize that like oh it's tomorrow morning until like this podcast call. Um, and so I still need to start packing. Um, but I also had to like say goodbye to my friends too. So it's just like those things of like, oh wow, time will hit. Like it's hitting right now. But like it went by too fast. Um, but I'm really excited to be going back home. Um, and like I'm excited to like kind of start like the new year with like everyone that came, everyone I spent like 2024 with. So just like creating like stronger bonds and friendships.
I love that. And yeah, I mean, I really love to, like I said, the sentimentality behind everything. And I know, like I said, again, for myself, I know that's something I really love and cherish. And that, you know, I really enjoy being able to cherish the moments I have a chance to spend with people, whether in person, online, by phone, whatever the case may be. I mean, because I feel like those moments are just so precious and they go by so quickly.
Hmm. No, I agree. Um, yeah, time really goes by really quick, but like I think that's also why like it's important to like journal, document things, have like a recollection of memories, um, and then also just like kind of have like a bucket list, things you need to do, like when you're at like back home or like with your friends or like for the new year. So it's exciting.
I'm so glad. And I did mean to ask too. So since you mentioned, of
Hmm.
course, throughout your journey that you have, run by the, what I said, the motto of you only live once. And I know that you have such an amazing positive outlook on everything. And so, and you've been involved in so much. And so, has it always been like this for you?
Yeah. Well, I feel like at times, like I try to like always kind of maintain like this personality of, well, it is my personality, but like just like have an have a glass half full mentality and mindset on life. And kind of just like be reminiscent of those things. Especially because like at times like I did like go through like severe like um distress or like depression and like kind of had like those rough moments in my life. Um, so I think it's always like making sure to remind myself to advocate for mental health, for my mental health, prioritize myself, um, and then like kind of remind myself like I want to be where I am with like without like everyone who has helped me become part of like this journey, or everyone who's been involved and everyone who's helped me like grow and like see me like through my like lows, like but like also like at my highs. So it's that's why like I like love maintaining friendships and like love that connection piece of like um building those lasting relationships with your friends, with your loved ones, with your peers, or even with like strangers, like and like classmates who you don't even like talk to like a lot. It's always like good to like keep like that positive outlook, at least for me. And like always forget or always remind myself like to not forget that um and to like not lose weight. I already have like a post-it or like a reminder like on my wall with like daily reminders. And one of the things that it says is like, remember how you got here, give yourself a reason, do your best to not suffer in silence, don't lose yourself, tell your friends you love them, and then try to find the good and beauty in like people. And so like those are like things like I always like try to strive like my mentality um for and by and like live by. Uh, so like it's always like not like a happy like road or a happy season or like happy day, but there'll be like better days. And like that's where like you remind yourself like I don't need to like or the things that I'm suffering in is like temporary and like it'll be a much better day tomorrow. Um, I always try to go by that or go by those reminders and things and everything I've said in this podcast.
Well, I mean, I've really been, like I said, appreciating, like I said, everything that you've, been saying, and I love those daily reminders, and I love that you have them written out. And if I remember correctly, you very much, similar to me, you very much value written communication.
Yeah, yeah. So personally like I'm not that good like in like conversation or like saying things that come out of my mouth like and like communicating those thoughts and expressions like clearly. I always do feel like sometimes like it's for me at least like it's good to keep like a mental note of like your roadmap of like what you want to say, what you want to talk about. And also just reminding yourself like the pen and paper like are here for a reason. Try to use them or like try to use them to like kind of like get your words across. Especially like because for me, like I always find myself like because I am involved with so many things, I always like have my mind going like every single thing or every single place. So like it's really good to like write things out like where you can like physically write it out and then like physically visually see it. That's also one of the reasons why like I keep like a written agenda, like a planner. And that's where like I can just like make bullet points and like also like my to-do list for like the day or for the week. Um, in addition to like my Google Calendar. So like a lot of things like help make me function. And like pen and paper is one of them.
I love that, and yeah, as you can see, yeah, I always have my numerous assortment of of pens on me,
Pens.
and pens, pencils, you name it. I love being able to
Hmm.
take a physical note. I think it's such a you know a I don't want to say a dying art, but an evolving art. But I don't know. There's something that's just so fun about being able to physically write something down. I always keep a little notebook with me to
Hmm.
be able to write things down. And I know my personal favorite, whether in person or electronically, is writing thank you notes to people.
Yes, yes. I think like for me, I always feel like some things are like too like draining. Um, for example, like whenever I want like want to write like personal letters to my friends, um, I do like come in with the intention of like, oh, writing in paper will like help me get like my thoughts across. Plus, like it'll help me like show that intention of like I care about you and like I'm writing it out, rather than it just being like a text of like, oh, like here's what I think. Um, so it's also like in the in between of like finding the time for yourself to like kind of reflect on those and like have the time to like write it out. So like for me, like it takes like at least like 30 minutes to like write a letter just because like I need to like think about like all the memories and like trying to like keep it intentional and make it genuine. Um and so I really love like giving those out as like letters or like written out.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, when I graduate, yeah, in May 2024, from my master's program, is that
Uh-huh.
like I was having so much fun with, writing different letters, thank yous to some of my professors. Like I even have like this box, of like 2024 thank you cards that like, yeah, I
Oh,
just started writing out, and I like that you said it takes you at least half an hour. For me, sometimes it could take hours. Like I have to be in the moment to feel it, and it.
yeah,
Uh, I could truly spend all day writing like a single letter because I want it to be genuine. I don't want to just be a
yeah.
thank you. Like, no, there's so much I have to tell you.
Exactly, exactly. Um, and I think that's like what matters too, or makes it matter. Like kind of like reflecting back on the memories, reflecting back on the person, on the message, and getting it across. Um, and I really, especially when I get it, it's like I really appreciate it. So like I know the feeling of like receiving those kind of letters. So like I can always imagine like what the other person feels when I give the letter.
That's amazing, and I'm so glad was that you're able to. I mean, to have those experiences and to share that, and I mean, and sending positive messages to friends, I think is the best gift you can ever give.
Hmm. I agree. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, but we've been able to speak about Lizette so much. And Earl, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss that we haven't hit already? And I feel like there's always just so much that we never
Mhm.
have a chance to hit.
Yeah, I think we did talk about a lot, and there's probably like definitely a bit more um, that I miss, but I can't really get my head across. Um, is there anything that you're curious about?
Oh, there is so much I'm curious about. I mean, there is so much. And I mean, we could be talking for hours, even in our planning meeting. I think we spoke for about 2 hours.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, I mean, I will say, well, before I even go into some of my questions and thoughts in the
Mhm.
time that was that we have left, I did want to make a mention too that you're actually very familiar with some of the guests I've had on my show previously.
Yeah, yeah, I have, and I was like really excited because I saw like pictures of them. Like I was like, scrolling through your feed, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you've had them on your podcast.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think I know. I know Maxwell, um, who is who is also like who you've had in your podcast, and like he's like a great like advocate for like mental health. I see him like all around for campus and like also on social media, like promoting mental health awareness, and I really appreciate that. Um, and then I noticed that you had Milagros in your show a few times, and that makes me happy because like I met Milagros at a conference for like communications, and like she was just like really like such a sweet, wholesome person, and she was like so genuine and sincere, and I love like like meeting her, like having a conversation with her, especially because like she was like one of like the moderator for like one of the panels of the conference that I went to, and so it was like just like really like wow, like you're speaking to me, I'm speaking to you, kind of moment. And then like once I heard that she was part of your podcast, I was like that makes sense. Because like she's really like nice and like she has like so many words like of wisdom to like share out. Um, yeah, yeah, we're actually like gonna meet like during this break or during my winter break to like talk about like PR, SSA, like how more I can get involved. Um, yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I definitely wish you the best in that. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that you should definitely use your gift and expertise and continue to give back to this amazing community.
Yeah, of course. I like definitely spread the word to my friends and like just to like other like leaders that I know.
That's amazing. And out of curiosity, like, what was the PR conference that you had met her with?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like these opportunities that you apply for. So I applied for the Planck Center, which is like a communications um like nonprofit within like University of Alabama. And so like I applied for like their annual summit and their annual PR summit. And then I also like applied for their to be part of their cohort for like the David Grossman and like Emerge like Leadership Academy. Um, and I got in. So like I met her in Chicago during that conference and like during that summit, and like she's also like the board member of the Planck Center because she is like the president of PRSSA. And so like the program will be launching like next year, and like I'll be like paired up with a mentor, um, and then we'll just be having like a learning on a curriculum for like leadership and like advancing like our professional like journey and like our like leadership journey.
That's amazing. And this event, I believe, was just a few weeks ago.
It was like in yeah like early November. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of this time definitely, yeah, jumps in. But yeah, I mean, last month as time of recording this, and I mean, it's hard to believe how much has really happened in this semester in one. But that's so exciting that you're able to be a part of that opportunity. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. Like time goes by so fast, but like it also like I think at the end of the year is like a perfect moment to like kind of reflect on like things I've like struggled with, but also like accomplishments that I'm proud of, or things for even trying. So I'm really proud of that. Like, yeah,
That's exciting. And were you able to meet Teo as well?
yeah, I did. He was with like Milagros a lot too, and he's also part of the cohort for like the Leadership Academy, and so like I'll be interacting with them more like next year, so that'll be really exciting.
That's amazing. Like I said, I mean, it's so funny that whenever we have a chance to meet people that you can meet someone for the first time, and you all have so many. We have so many mutual friends that
Yes,
I mean, isn't
yeah,
that crazy?
it is really crazy. Like it kind of reminds me of like how like the world is so small sometimes. And it also reminds me of like how like some people are like just meant to like have that relationship, or like some people like just senses to meet. Um, so that's really nice.
And to go back into us, that's some of the questions I have for you. So, out of curiosity, so if you had a dream day or dream week, what would
Uh-huh.
it entail, and what would you do? And is there anyone that you would want to meet up with during this week?
Mm. Ooh. Oh wow. Okay. So during this week, it'll definitely be like a world, like, like world tour kind of with like just like meeting again with like my friends, who I've met like not only like just in high school, elementary school, college, but like also like during my study abroad experiences. So it'll definitely like be like a chance to like meet like a lot of like people who've like are important to my life, and kind of help create those core memories, and then just like interact and connect with them, and then also like go from one place to another, but then like everyone else who I've met like comes with me to along that journey. Um, so like I have friends who are like from like of course like LA back home. I also have friends from like Colorado, Texas, like New York City, Chicago, and then also some friends like in Canada, in Europe, and then like in Asia. So it's like I think that would be like a dream week to me, like just like reconnecting with my friends, but like also for them to like create new connections as well with other people. Um, while of course like exploring, adventuring, and like eating good food.
I love that. And I love that, with anything at your disposal for this week, that you chose your friends. And I think that really says a lot about, your character and this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, of course. As I mentioned before, like I think I wouldn't be here or like wouldn't be like who I am today without my friends. Like they've been like a really supportive like support system. And like again, who have been with me like through my highs and lows, and like I'm really grateful.
I'm so glad. And I mean, I definitely feel, the same way. I mean, I feel like we truly are, who we are because some of the people that, that we surround ourselves with. And I mean, it's one of those things too where, I mean, if I had a dream journey, like I would easily want, those people, with me.
Hmm.
Um, and I love the very rare moments like in my life too where I'm able to have different groups of my friends or employers or whatever when they have a chance to like meet each other for the first time because it's so I don't know, to me because everything's so segmented off sometimes it's
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, like this person is having such a great interaction with this person they've never met before and like it's all just coming
Exactly,
together.
exactly. Like I really love those kind of like moments and experiences, and yeah, I'm glad you have to like have those moments too.
Absolutely. And I want to allow a moment, before we begin closing out to flip this too. Are there any questions that you have for me?
Um, Probably like what's like one of the things that like resonate with you the most from this podcast like conversation.
Oh, there's so many things. You know, I oh yeah, I would have to say the blending of of media with human connections. Um, like everything from how you said that you document your time and part, like I said, so that way your friends can stay along the journey with you to even using it to stay in touch with your friends. I mean, that I think is just so extraordinary. And I know I told you a little bit during our planning meeting, but my master's degree program I was in, which was based in lifespan and digital communication, the actual blend of human communication interaction with digital media.
Hmm.
And so, if you ever want a grad program, I mean, I think this would be the perfect one for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely like look into it more after this call. But like if I do want to get into like the grad school space, then that's definitely one of the choices I'll look into.
Yeah, I mean, but I think one of the reasons I believe it resonates with me is because I feel
Hmm.
like it's a sort of uncharted territory that our world that we live in changes by the day. One day we can, be in one headspace, be doing this, and then
Exactly.
it doesn't even have to be a whole day later. A minute later, we can get a message that changes everything. In fact, 4 years ago, yeah, one day we're all, just living life, and then the next day, boom, we're in a pandemic now. Everything's closed down. We're in a completely
Hmm.
digital world, and so, I mean, while that situation might be sort of dealt with, that's not going to be the first, I mean, the last of life changing moments for us, for better or for worse. That this is the world we live in now, and so instead of running in fear from it, although as easy as that may be, it's like what might as well just embrace it. Yeah, document the moment, enjoy the journey, and why not? Why not just make the most of the time that we have now? We're not going to get it back.
Yeah, exactly what the YOLO mentality is.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been so loving this conversation, and yeah, as I've said before, I know that there's always so much more to speak about. And Earl, please know that you are definitely always welcome here on the show.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll definitely come back like once I have more things to share, or maybe like after graduating, but we'll see.
I am so looking forward to that, and yeah, maybe during one of your mini travels. Let's say if you ever come to this area of Virginia, definitely let me know.
Okay, for sure. Thank you. And thanks again for like having me in this podcast, like inviting me, um, and like just reaching out.
Absolutely. I mean, this has been so fun and like I said, and exciting. I've been looking forward to this all week, and yeah. But speaking of reaching out, though, if anyone wants to connect with you online, where are the best places for them to do so?
Yeah, of course. So my Instagram is like so my Instagram is Lawrence Bumagat, like LAWRENCE BUMAGAT. And I also have like a food page called Earl Eats at Earl Eats, EARLLEATS. You can also find me on LinkedIn. It's just my full name, Earl Lawrence Bumagat, Bumagat. And um, I might make some more funny or like more content on TikTok if it's still there. But in case you want to like check it out, it's Y Earl. So like Y, like WHYY with an Earl, like EARL. So two Y's. Um, but feel free to reach out to me like for anything in any way. I would say like Instagram I'm more active in checking like me DMs instead of like TikTok or also LinkedIn. I could also do Instagram or LinkedIn. Earl Lawrence is like my full first name. I think like sometimes like just in Filipino like culture, you get to like two names as your first name. So Earl Lawrence is mine, but like most times I go by Earl because that's just like shorter and like easier for everyone.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, and I did want to ask too before we head into our final question. I did want to ask. So, what does it mean for you to be able to tell your story here on the podcast, especially knowing that you've had friends that have been on and you have quite a bit of connections, yeah, to all this. So, what does this mean to you? And have you been nervous at all?
Yeah, I've like definitely been nervous like leading up to this podcast because I was like I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Um, but like thankfully like it was pretty, a smooth conversation and there were like smooth transitions and like you really like opened up like what I want to talk about and like what lessons I wanted to like kind of remind myself and others. So like I'm grateful for that and I think it's like such a great space to like share your story, especially because one like you probably have like similar things with other people, and like it kind of reminds yourself that you're not alone and like you're in the same boat as other people. And then two, it's like um, one of those things where it's like not everything's or one of the things I want to like kind of acknowledge from like the things I've been saying is just um like social media isn't everything or like what you see on social media isn't like the whole truth. So like a lot of times I'll be posting like every day and like of my like happy memories and stuff like that. But like I'll like won't really post like things when I struggle or like I don't think anyone will post like when they struggle or like the bad things happening. So just acknowledging that like those do happen even when you don't see it. Um, and it's also like the same way that we interact with other people like in person. Like they could be a whole personality. They can have like a whole personality, but we won't like know like the inner truth or like things that are going on behind everyone's lives. So like kind of giving like everyone some like grace period or like being open minded is like key to like a lot of things in life. Um, and then yeah, I'm just really excited to share because I know like the importance of like storytelling and like sharing your story. Um, Especially like to those like who may think they know you but like don't really know you. It's also just a chance for me to like kind of reflect on myself and like what I like want to share with others. Um, and then also like just see like the growth that I've like had since then. Um, yeah, yeah.
I love that, and like I said, it's been such an honor, like I said, being able to speak with you, get to know you, and I mean, I'm so glad I had a chance, like I said, to meet you and hear about your story. I'm excited for us to, like I said, to stay in touch, and yeah, and definitely for that YouTube challenge before 2024 ends out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, I'll work on that, and I hope you do too, and we can both share it.
Yes, we definitely can. And last but not least, to end out this conversation, yeah, I want to allow for you to go ahead and close us
Mhm.
out with whether it be a life lesson, inspirational thought, whatever the case may be. The floor is all yours, Earl.
Oh, um, okay. So thanks everyone for like listening to this podcast. Here, are just like my 3 cents to like take away. Um, One, of course, as I've been saying this whole time, you only live once, so why not try everything while you're at it? Why not try to feel everything while you're at it and do stuff that while you're at it? Two, remember to like be grateful and like love your friends and love the people that kept you going, and kind of remind yourself like of who you would be without them or who you wouldn't be without them. And then three, um, remember to like prioritize yourself at all times and like kind of know like when something's not right, and just take care of yourself because at the end of the day like nothing will function if you're not you. So remember not to lose yourself. If you do find yourself losing yourself, then take a step back, um, and find your way back. Yeah, that's all for me.
I love that. I love that. And I love that last moment, especially that you ended out with, to find your way back.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you. I feel like sometimes like I even struggle with it, like as I mentioned, but I feel like as long as you have like your support system, as long as you remember like those things that like keep you going, and like the reason why you're here, um, then you will find a way to back to yourself.
I love that. And like I said, thank you so much, like I said, for coming on, for speaking with us. And this has been such a joy. And it's, like I said, it's an absolute honor being able to speak with you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so for those tuning in, thank you so much as always for tuning in to the Tansson Talks show. I always appreciate your support and continue tuning in every week. This ends out number 103, and I'll see you next time.